Hello and welcome to our Skin of Colour book club, and this week we will be reviewing Skin Revolution by Dr. Vanita Rattan. This book is different because how many books out there have you found for skin of colour?
It's very informative, it's very detailed.
Exactly. It has a lot of data in it. It's not just a case of opinions.
So you've got real people, real results.
Men are sort of left out of the skincare conversation, which is a bit bizarre because we all have skin. So my initial thoughts of the book were just looking at the contents page. I really liked how it broke down different skin issues.
It really quite went into depth in each chapter about, for eczema, for example, it will give you a skincare routine of what you can do daily, and then it will go into a bit deeper, different shades and products that you can use, even agents. So it goes from baby all the way up to
Adulthood.
Older age.
I think another thing as well is that even though it does break down skin issues, it's not like a dictionary of skin issues. It actually goes into revolutions and myth busting, and also ways that you can identify those skin issues. I think sometimes people might think they have dry skin and they actually have eczema, or people might have eczema and they actually just have dry skin. But this sort of breaks it down and actually explains what each condition is. So I think that was like my first initial thought was, wow, okay, so we're not just getting this is hyperpigmentation. This is what that means. Next chapter.
It's it's very informative. It's very detailed as well.
Yeah.
So it sort of covers everything that you'd want, as in if you had an issue or a certain issue, then it sort of gave you the solution.
Yeah.
The breakdown of
Exactly.
of
and
each
then
one
I
is.
really love the little highlighted boxes that it gives you, which are the most common issues. So there's a lot of myths out there. For example, the one that you saw earlier with the hyperpigmentation. A lot of people thought that, what was it? The tanning
would help you even out your hyperpigmentation. And when I saw that box in here, I was like, oh my God, that's what I do. Like when I go on holiday, I'm like, I'm going to tan so I can get my face all even. But in this book, and it does this for other chapters, not just the one that we mentioned, but it actually does highlight issues that people think are resolutions that actually are not. So it myth busts.
And that's exactly what we need, because in this day and age, in this generation,
so much
we look on
information.
Instagram and social media and things like that, and we see
and
things and think, oh yeah, that's the thing that we need to do. And really and truly, get yourself Dr. V. Get the medical aspect behind it.
Exactly.
That's it.
So one thing that I particularly like about the book is that it gives you daily routines that you can follow, step-by-step procedure, and really breaks it down. Home remedies is something that I look up on Google because I like natural things and things that I can find in my household rather than running to my nearest Superdrug store. So I find that really helpful, and it's not something that I would find, that I would have expected, should I say, to find in a book like this, because it has such a medical background. So I think that's a really nice touch to add.
It's just easy
gives you a
reading
bit of
as well,
comfort.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very easy reading. Not too much, too many complicated words, and it's very understandable. Very, very easy.
One thing that I also liked were the illustrations in the book. I think it gives like really scientific examples of what's being sort of explained. Another thing is that when you sort of go online and you look at skin issues and skin conditions, you often find it on people that are not of colour.
Exactly.
But those issues and those conditions look different on us.
Yes.
So it's quite nice having illustrations just showing what certain conditions may look like on our skin. There's a chapter here for men. It's actually called skincare for men, and I think like sometimes men are sort of left out of the skincare conversation, which is a bit bizarre because we all have skin.
Exactly, we all deal with the skin issues.
We all have skin. Those of us that have partners find that our partners tend to steal our skincare because they're not actually being targeted. They're not being sort of advised as well. So it's quite nice that they're included in this, and that shocked me the most.
Another one was the babies, kids and teens, because that's another thing, age. We always go for teenagers that are dealing with acne and things like that. We don't think about, your baby rashes or the dark areas that you get when you get older, like you're saying, the areas around your eyes. So it's really nice to include a wide variety of age groups. So my favourite aspect of the book is that it uses products that we already use at home. So we came across the Ordinary, which I use niacinamide, which is really good for hyperpigmentation, for example. So it's easy to find products that you would usually have at home. What did you find?
The fact as well is that one of the aspects I found was the poll taking. They literally spoke to people with certain issues or certain problems with their skin, and actually asked the question, once they've used it, how do you
So you've got real
feel?
people, real results.
What was it like, and how do they
Exactly.
feel to use this product? And
I think a really good thing about the polls as well, it didn't just ask people about their conditions, but it asked people how useful they found some solutions. So sometimes when we are buying products or we're using products, we kind of want to know how many people have
It's true.
has this
'Cause
worked
it's so easy for us to just jump on YouTube and be like, oh, let's see who's used it.
And often when you do research, you find what you're looking for. So if you want to know if a product is good, that's all you're going to see. But it's kind of good that they've done a poll to see how many people found products useful. And that's something that I also really enjoyed. I think I mentioned before, but another thing that I really enjoyed was the myth busting for each chapter. It actually goes through common ideas or common information that everyone shares for each skin problem, but it sort of breaks down whether they're true or not. So I really liked that as well. Found that really useful.
I've realised that this book is different because how many books out there have you found for skin of colour? For me personally, this is my first one, and it actually comes from a medical doctor whose medical background is a cosmetic formulator.
I think another thing that makes this different is that it's got data in it. It has a lot of data in it. It's not just a case of opinions. It's written by someone with a scientific background, as we mentioned. They've consulted real people. The questionnaires by real people, and like I said before, not just about the issues they've dealt with, but has also asked them what they found helpful. So I think that's what makes it really different. It's not just a book of
your average magazine sort of thing.
Exactly. It's not just a book of opinions. The information that is written in here is based on actual science.
Real data. Real data.
Then break it down for your average Joe, let's say. It's not filled with scientific jargon.
It's easy
your
to
neighbour
read.
could read it and continue with her new daily routine, and it's so easy to follow, and that's what's so important about it. You go on YouTube these days and Google, and it's all these complicated words, and that's not what it's like at all. It really breaks it down and highlights what products you can use alongside it, how often to use it. So making your daily routine easy
as well. Do you know how hard it is to find a routine that's specific to what you're dealing with without sort of like, sometimes when you're looking for information as well, you kind of get bombarded with ads. You sort of think, is this information correct, or are they just trying to get me to buy into something? But this really goes into what works for specific issues, and it gives you an entire routine. So you're not just being told use this one product and be on your way. you're sort of encouraged to add a new routine to your lifestyle.
And it's for us.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's personalised for our skin.
Our skin.